Hello everybody, Fatima here, and I will just be responding to the questions asked for our class today. So the first one was, what is classical conditioning? And classical conditioning is learning through association. So an example of that would be like fear of dogs. So you learn to fear dogs because maybe something that you saw um, on TV, or someone told you about an experience that they had being attacked by a dog. So now when you're out on the street, if you see a dog, you're automatically associating them with that experience. The dog could not even be a vicious dog, but it's just the fact that you're associating the dog with what you learned. Okay. Um, So how I can use classical conditioning and learning is to associate learning and connect it with a good time. So instead of how many of us do with learning, we're like, oh, that's boring, I don't want to do that. I can associate it with something that's fun, something or like, my own little special game that I do, where I can be like, oh, it's learning time, and I can associate learning with having a good time. Okay. And the second one is, what is observant learning? And observant learning is learning by observing and modeling another person, learning behaviors rather than imitating social learning. So I would say an example of that would be cursing. So if we're always in a group of people who curse all the time, then we will pick up cursing because we're imitating the people that we hang around. Okay. And how I can associate that with learning is I can pick up good study habits by watching others. And then the last one was observant conditioning, and that's learning to respond in a particular way by watching, and learning by watching others, such as role models. And an example of that would be if I were to watch my mother cook our favorite meal. She's a role model, and just me observing her, standing by as she watches and watching her as she prepares dinner, then that's an example of observant conditioning. Or another example would be a son who's watching his father take out the trash every day. Eventually he'll know what his role is by observing and watching his father. So how I can use this in my schooling would be just watching the person who's always the first to turn in their assignment, or the one who is just so eager to get the best grades in the class, and just watching and observing, and some of that will rub off on me. Thank y'all so much. Bye.